All right, folks, we're back. Thanks for watching the commercial break. So as stated, we're going to be doing Zest versus MaNa PvP coming up next. This should be interesting because we've actually not seen a lot of PvP since the patch. If you've been watching a lot of the player streams, though, PvP's gotten really weird. And like, well, I think it's still totally viable to do Blink Stock or Disruptor and some of the things we saw before. For whatever reason that I don't understand, Zealot Void Ray is a thing now, and I'm perplexed as to why. I don't get it.
The speed buff, man. The speed buff.
That like 0.2 speed buff. Yeah, I don't know. So I'm really curious to see what this will look like, specifically, of course, with Zest in mind, but also MaNa playing on the home server, having that little itty bitty bit of an advantage. But Dark Templar, I think, are also another thing. If you've been watching the streams that have also been coming out in big fashion, still have not seen Blink DTs. The closest we've seen was Showtime researching it and then never using it.
So good.
I don't know. Who do you think takes the series here, Zombie Grub?
MaNa. Sorry, Zest.
Wow. Okay.
That sounded like I was intentionally being.
Yeah, it does.
Jake.
I'm gonna cheer for MaNa because I would love to see something overcome, but also because I really want to see both the foreigners beat out the Koreans in this part of the bracket. With Euthermal versus Alive on the other side of this in a TVT, I want to see Euthermal and MaNa be the outcome in the round of 8s. Nurcho currently plays against Billowy. Top side has possibly Snoot versus Major or Snoot versus Keen in the round of 4. I think I'm going to message Darius to hold Snoot's match if that goes that way.
Good idea. Well, the first map is Overgrowth. Echo and then Newkirk. Echo. Ooh, MaNa's upgraded to actual Hangul.
MaNa bust out Korean. I'm impressed. I'm truly impressed.
Right?
Anyways, now we got some more people tuning in. Give you a bit of a preview what you guys, what the tournament sponsoring this is. Here's the particular watch I own from Yord. They're really nice. They're lightweight too. They really don't weigh much. They're very. If you have problems like I do, where you're a sweaty guy when it gets warm, these watches are actually really fantastic because they don't make your wrist sweat like a metal watch does. That for me is like huge selling point. That being said, they're fancy, they look nice, they're lightweight. I would definitely recommend checking out this website here, woodwatches.com, but make sure to include the /base because that's how they know that you came from BaseTradeTV, and that's also how you can get a deal while still having 15% of your sale go towards the next tournament. If you guys recall the last tournament we did, the Civil War. Well, another PvP coming at you with the Yord event right here. In the top right, it's going to be the blue Protoss MaNa.
And in the bottom left has the red Protoss Zest.
Actually, even more than Civil War, the most recent Yord-related PvP we had was, if you guys recall, Jansoon versus Jesse in the sponsor versus sponsor show match. That was really fun, actually.
It was beautiful. And why I brought up the Protoss cheese earlier. Didn't like Jesse try to cheese him back and it didn't quite work?
Yeah. I really like, actually, speaking of that. So we got Jansoon in chat. Already shouted him out. Shouting him out again. He's the guy who works for Yord. If you got questions about the watches, ask him. But I love that he played the game. I love that he plays Hearthstone. I love that he streams. I really love when we get sponsors that are really involved with whatever the game is. Maybe it's not StarCraft all the time, always, but the fact that he's willing to play it all is really cool, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Also, I'm not sure what's going on with Skype, but it has froze up again. So luckily, I only need to hear you while we're in game, but we have to restart it once we get out.
Yeah, I'm totally ready to blame any technical difficulties on me, because, you know, I'm just moving computers every day. But it's definitely
not on your end, but it's weird because this has never happened prior to you using Scarlett's computer before.
Huh.
It's definitely something on my side. I have no idea what.
Because I know if it's happened to me before, but like, yeah, twice in a row so quickly is really weird.
Well, MaNa's gonna be the one to get the first scout. Credit due where it's due. When we ever see PvP, there are some players out there who are really not, I guess, non-scouters, we'll say. They just, I think, assume what the matchup's going to be and play based on assumptions. MaNa's actually, I think, most of the time we've praised him on his scouting, actually, and his information gathering, allowing him to get edges when we've seen him in the past.
Yeah, MaNa has like a lot of good points, and it's like, hey, I really wish he could just like combine it all together to really be that like finalist, basically, because he has some really strong points.
He does, and you know what? Nobody plays better than MaNa when he's put in a corner too. But the
Yeah,
problem
exactly.
is, like, once he's in the corner, he's probably lost the game. Is the issue?
Yeah. But Zest, of course, you know, you look at him and he is winning like the biggest titles in the world. It's just like it's hard to actually match up against that. So Zest is going to be applying a bit of pressure early on. Actually, more than a bit of pressure. He is getting a proxy gateway.
Dedication.
Four-gating the guy. Oh my god, what is this one's Liberty? Oh my god.
That being said, MaNa getting one of these adepts early is actually a really nice pickoff for him. Less to worry about getting into the main, and of course, nothing can one-shot the probes when there's only one adept in play. In fact, he will kill this adept, and defense so far not too bad. Gets you 2 stalkers in the middle of the map, and actually has a small advantage over Zest. Almost gets that last shot. Watchtower's gonna be a bit better, as we can see it happen here, but MaNa's still gonna fight this out with the adepts coming in. Might just get another kill.
Oh, he's gonna see the mothership?
The
Yeah,
mothership core actually does have to run from a stalker, as silly as that
Yeah.
is. But MaNa's not going to go chase that around. I think he really wanted to take those adepts and send them to the mineral line. That might cost him his stalker.
Yeah, but if the adepts really do get a lot of distraction done, that's going to be very helpful for... I mean, because Zest is actually attacking right now. Like, he has the proxy pylon set up and a Stargate as well. Wow, he's like super one-basing it. But if the adepts can actually get the mineral line, maybe they can do something. But of course, they know the mothership core is there, so they at best would get either a couple of probe kills or like try and bait the with an overcharge. But they're actually going to get devastating amount of damage. This might be devastating damage.
The overcharge picks off
terrible.
2 stalkers, which is really nice for MaNa, but he's still behind a significant amount.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And the adepts do less like damage, and no, they got 1 probe.
Yeah, 1
No.
probe died. Feels bad.
Oh my
No,
God.
actually they got none because that was Zest who got the 1 probe.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was realizing too. Oh, this game. Unfortunately,
Immortal?
MaNa just.
Can the Immortal do it? I'm actually curious, like, because it is still 1 base out of Zest, right?
It with the micro of the Sim City, maybe. Like, it doesn't look like it's gonna be touched, but when it's outside trying to protect the Nexus, then I don't think it can actually do enough. And you know, Zest is about to have another warp on himself. He's actually going for again that Stargate, so an Oracle's gonna swoop into the main and take advantage of lack of flipped overcharges or just, you know, MaNa not being able to pay attention. Oh, Zest is like super cheesy right here.
He really is.
It's working. It's working so far, but it really will be about breaking into the main base because it is so all in.
Yeah, and the second Immortal's about to pop. I mean, this is... MaNa's not out of the game yet. That's the point that's worth noting. There's so many adepts on the ground, and of course the Immortals don't do bonus damage versus adepts by any means, so it's going to be tough to actually take on a head-on fight from Zest. But Zest might not... Like, again, with that Stargate, I'm curious what his play's going to be. The Nexus goes down at the natural, so he's going to try and get ahead off this, realizing that a soft contain might be his best option.
Yeah.
The Sentry comes so late, though. If MaNa were to go right now, he wouldn't get force fielded, but now it's a little bit too late.
Yeah, so it would have been questionable. Again, like those Immortals get chunked away by the Adepts. Maybe it doesn't actually that good of a fight for him, so... Unfortunately, that means he's going to have to try and bust the other measures, and that's going to be a Warp Prism, which the Oracle might be able to scout?
Can he catch up with the Stalkers? Not quite. That would have been huge to pick off that Oracle.
Yeah, it's not necessarily surprising that Zest is getting away with the Nexus, but it is funny. Nexus.
I'm having such a difficult time because I can't tab out to minimize Skype because it's like in end task freezed up mode. I can't do anything. So your thing is forcibly above all my other windows right now, and your eyes are like half open and half closed.
Look at me.
It got you like mid blink, like you had just blinked, I think. This is so distracting, like, because I can't minimize it. Anyways, the attack in the middle of the map, MaNa actually unloads to get outside the base, and now he walks around the side of the map. I mean, okay, Phoenixes might be able to lift up the Immortals, but there's still a lot of units here from MaNa. This actually isn't too bad of a fight for him, possibly and potentially. I love the pickup control on the Warp Prism. The Phoenixes aren't shooting it, but the Immortals aren't part of the fight.
Ooh, can MaNa still do this? The Immortals are still alive.
Gotta pick up the Immortal.
Down.
Oh, that pickup was so sick! 5 health remaining!
Oh my God. This last Immortal still has their barrier back on. There we go. It's gonna chunk through these Stalkers, but they're actually the Phoenixes that got the shot in the Immortal.
I think he's done enough.
Yeah, I think so. He's such an
Oh, he stops the recall! He shuts it down! He gets the Adepts!
Whoa!
There's no overcharges either now. It's just four Adepts, and then out. Well, it's got an Oracle, I guess, but
he just couldn't get back home. I mean,
MaNa can force with that ramp too. He can keep Zest from reinforcing this at all.
So,
GG!
okay,
MaNa! It's gonna take game number 1.
thank God.
All right, quick. We wouldn't normally do a commercial break here, guys, but technical difficulties do call, and we'll be back in 2 minutes, real quick. All right, back briefly to test our faces. Looks like it's working. Fantastic. Let's get into game because it has started. So, map number 2. I was talking with MaNa a little bit. Oh no, why is this white screening? There we go. I was talking with MaNa a little bit between the game, and he's pretty confident he'll actually beat Zest 2-0 here. And I don't think it's necessarily because he thinks like, oh my god, I'm such a better player than Zest, but I think he's fully aware. It's PvP on the European servers. Zest is playing off server, like this, that, and the other. I love the confidence. I want to see him take it 2-0. Let's see if he can take down a god. In the bottom right, it's Team Liquid's MaNa.
And top left, as the red Protoss, he is Zest.
I would actually, if MaNa 2-0'd Zest here, he'd be doing us a favor, because then Zest might go to bed and be awake in time to play in our tournament later tonight.
It's true. I mean, if he gets my sleep schedule, he'd be perfectly well rested anyway.
Maybe. I'm also hoping, again, if Snoot advances, we have put the request for the admin to hold his games, guys. So I know some of you are going to want to see some Snoot action. We do too. We are planning to cast both the semifinals and the grand finals all in order as well. So this point going on, it's at least 4 more best of 3s before the day's done. A lot of more StarCraft on the way. And we'll see what is in store for us. But that game for PvP I liked for a lot of different reasons, and mostly because it wasn't what we've been seeing a lot of on streams. You know, Zest got really cheesy, sticking to the one base, going for the Oracle, and maybe that was a little bit because he knew it was cross-server, right? Do you, like, forget Stalker, Adept, any micro like that, you certainly don't want to be dancing around your disruptors with crazy ping.
Yeah, I guess there's like 2 sides to that idea, in that, like, well, early game micro is going to be really important, but also disruptor micro is pretty important too. So which one do you prefer to do with latency? And obviously he chose for the cheese. I mean, he might, I don't know, he might also have just like decided to throw it in. Like, Zest is not the cheesiest player, but he certainly is known for doing some cheese. I feel like, for me, he unfortunately now has the title of bad cheeser because of the Pro League finals. But that wasn't actually like all of his career right there. Just is the one thing I'm gonna remember forever and ever. The failed cannon rush. Good God, that was terrible. But anyway,
well, it's funny to bring
up
a failed cannon rush, by the way, with MaNa playing, because this guy's actually been doing some pretty good cannon rushes the last couple times we've seen him.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, MaNa even won with one. Yeah, MaNa's one of those Protosses, if you do see him advance and face Zerg, who is like, I'm super interested in watching what he does versus Zerg, because he actually won versus the Zerg, versus Bly it was. And it was a lot because of like his control and his aggression. But, you know, get into that later if we do have a PvZ with him. Because, of course, PvP right now, he looked strong last game, but it was a bit of a wonky game. Like, he didn't anticipate the all-in, or maybe as strong as an all-in as it was, yet he reacted as calmly as you could. And the Warp Prism trick usually is preempted by the Protoss player, but it worked against Zest.
So this is almost exactly the same way that last game went. Difference being MaNa didn't actually get the Nexus down this time. As far as the opening goes. So it's nice for Zest to pick that off, but I don't think delays this ever so slightly. His Nexus, okay, it's a bit ahead, but it's PvP, and I'm not sure how much of a difference that's really going to make, because your workers all get made pretty quickly. I'm more interested in Twilight Cancel that's going to be done pretty freaking quick here, and more importantly, what upgrade comes out of it. I think we all think Blink nowadays, it was the entirety of hard, like, there was a whole, like, half of an expansion where Blink was just not viable. If you went Blink, it was stupid. That being said, Blink, well, maybe the more opportune choice now because of the late game. We kind of question, like, is Zest thinking about the late game? This might lead into DTs. This might just be for Resonating Glaives. I really want to see what he makes with the Twilight Council. I'm just going to go for Blink.
Blink it is.
So Blink could be for the mid-game fight, the Stalkers, what have you. But just generally speaking, the reason Blink became a lot more acceptable in the matchup is the maneuverability paired with Disruptors is what the game came down to. Didn't matter how good you were, whether you're from Korea, Europe, or North America. You were generally going for Disruptors and Blink Stalkers as your main composition. And this was for everything leading up to the patch.
Yeah. A couple of trade-offs in the early game, I suppose. Like, yeah, they're both been going most likely into that Blink Soccer disruptors. This has been what most people have been doing. Even there's been like, I guess there's been a couple of weeks here and there where there's really like drastic change up in the composition. But anyway,
Ooh.
it's kind of the most
Ooh.
settled thing. Fake Oracle is always a little cute to see.
Well, I like
Quickly.
it. I like it primarily because last game he went for the real Oracle, right? So this is
Yeah.
MaNa
You can already
chasing it
tell it's
off.
fake.
Yeah.
But the differences in the openers will give Zest a little bit faster of a blink here, but a little bit slower on the immortals. So I don't want to like. I don't think it's actually going to matter that much. Again, they're going for the same composition, but I'm just thinking that MaNa might have been able to do something if he was like looking for pressure with the blink stalkers, but he doesn't even have it on the map yet. So I don't think I'll be abusing that. Much faster Forge. I'm still so curious about like pro player Protoss. Pro player Protoss. And their forge timings, because for a while we didn't see anyone go for fast forge, or relatively fast, mid-game fast forge, is how we call it, or something like that, right? And then Hearthstone would always do it. Like as soon as it hit like the technical mid-game, it was like they bland, like a forge goes down immediately, and then everyone else wouldn't bother. And then we have a couple more people choosing to do that over, well, you know, clearly like MaNa's doing, right? Like he's not even getting a forge yet.
I have a rather serious question.
What?
Is rapid casting within arm's reach of you?
Yes.
Would you mind giving him a bit of a punch or perhaps even a slap for me?
Okay.
Make sure he knows it's from Rifkin.
It's from Rifkin.
Don't just randomly hit him. That makes you look bad.
Okay, well,
Thank you,
I
thank you so
figure
much.
he would have known what it was for.
Thank you so much. And thank you to Stony McStone for the 10-month resub. All right, so Zest gets, I think, a little bit, we'll say, dangerous, a little bit brave, a little bit bold on the front line, so realizing that he's not going to be able to take this on, backs away. You brought up the topic of Immortals, but it's, you know, a couple of Immortals, but faster Disruptors. And again, I don't know, like, is the ping going to hurt him here? Will it matter? I mean, the thing is, one Disruptor shot can sometimes just be a lucky Disruptor shot, and it can win you the game.
Yeah. Again, a slight difference here in their builds. Same composition for the most part, and they're getting to the same units eventually, but MaNa with a faster third base, slower on the Disruptors, and of course just not bothering with an upgrade. Again, I just find that so fascinating, the choices, the styles it seems to be between fast upgrade and not.
Yeah, Hearthstone was one of those guys as well in PvPs. He was going like fast upgrades every single time.
Every time, yeah. Oh, the
Blinks in though. He takes it out pretty quick. The Force Field's trapping the Immortals, and this goes really badly for Zest.
Yeah, that Immortal trap, the Force Field, just like icing on the cake, killing that Disruptor. Second Disruptor's almost out, but even that could be killed.
So Zest has a hell of a lot of stalkers though. I mean, like, this is like 18 stalkers. The Immortals are certainly good, but there's still a lot of units to work around. I'm wondering if he can find a way to make this work. But the Force Field's coming down, though, might not be the case. He's forced to use his Blinks now to disengage, and MaNa just walks up this ramp. Blinks down to pick off the Disruptor. It's not going to get the shot, but the Immortals are abandoned. Picked up by the Warp Prism. Nice control out of MaNa, and I think he's about to lock this game down.
I think he is. That was
Look
an
at that pick up
excellent
by Grow!
precision surgery-like maneuver of killing the Disruptor and the Immortals. That was pretty sick.
Well, MaNa, in a whisper, I told him he's like Leonidas, proving that even like a God King can bleed, and certainly here as he knocks Zest out 2-0. Goodbye, Zest. It was nice having you while we did. I'm going to message him real quick then, see if he knows to play in the Korean tournament later tonight.
Yeah, hook him. Hook, line, and sinker. Are we going to be going into MaNa versus Euthermal?
Maybe, hang on.
Okay, well, there's a ton of other ones. Keen versus Major, Billy Nurtrio, Stats Tails.
Well, I had mentioned before trying to get into Snoot's match, possibly and potentially, but if Euthermal and MaNa are good to go, then we might just do that instead. Because I wasn't sure how long or how far that would go. Plus, this was both of the foreigners overcoming their Korea. This was like, it was their mirror image counterparts from Korea. That like it was TBT. It was Korean versus like European. I love it. The same thing with the PvP. But now we'll go to a PvT, and yeah, I guess we'll do Euthermal and MaNa. They're ready to go. So I'll tell our admin not to hold Snoot, and we'll get things going. So quick commercial break. Don't go anywhere. MaNa versus Euthermal in the round of 8 when we return.